Hello, good morning. It is probably not morning time for you, but it's morning time for me. So good morning. This video is going to be me talking about media that I've just been thinking about a lot recently. Once again, as always, one take on my bad camera, because I don't like to edit, and I think it's nostalgic when cameras are like gross. When they're grainy. This video is pre-recorded. It's probably not going to come out in a month from when I'm filming it. Oh, I have a low battery. Oopsie. It's not going to come out for about a month or so after I film this. So I'm sure that the media will not be, like, the media that everybody's talking about is not going to be the same. But I'm going to talk about it anyway. Yeah. Because this is what I'm thinking about right now. So the things I'm going to be talking about, just as a setup: Poor Thing, Saltburn, and Attack on Titan. Just because I'm always thinking about Attack on Titan. So first, Poor Things. I went to see Poor Thing with my friend and my friend's little sister on I think it was like a Tuesday night. We went at 10:30, didn't get out of the movie theater until 1 o'clock in the morning. I have a very complicated relationship with Poor Thing because it was extraordinarily entertaining. It was beautiful. Like, the costuming was beautiful, the sets were beautiful, the cinematography was beautiful. It was a beautiful film. And it had a lot of very, very artistic choices that I think were amazing. I think that the overall story was very conclusive. There were parts where I was like, maybe we don't need this. I also found it to be incredibly disturbing. I'm looking at myself in the eyes right now because I don't want to look at you. You know? This just doesn't feel right. I found it to be incredibly disturbing because, spoilers. These are going to be spoilers for the movie. If you haven't seen it, move forward. I don't know how long yet. Figure it out later. But if it was incredibly disturbing because the idea of this film, right, is we see this woman kill herself. She's pregnant. A doctor, evil scientist, because it's supposed to be based off of Frankenstein, from what I've heard. Evil scientist. He gets the little baby out of her tummy, puts the baby brain in the adult woman, and then brings her back to life. So this is like an adult baby. And, like, it's an experiment to see how fast babies develop, I guess. But throughout the entire movie, she is hypersexualized. There's also a lot of sex in this movie. If you do not like sex, don't watch this movie. It is like it's not like 50% sex scenes, but it feels like a lot of sex scenes. But she's hypersexualized the whole movie, and she has an infant brain. Like, she doesn't understand that, and she's sold to a man. She figures out how to masturbate within, like, the first 15 minutes of the film, and she keeps doing it, and everybody's like, stop it, stop, don't do that, that's weird. Which yeah, you know, she's a baby. I am sure that they don't want to see a baby do that. And then a man who understands that she is a baby takes her away to have, like, a sex trip with her. That's strange. That's a strange thing. It's just, it feels like a woman, like, this child essentially is being taken advantage of by many, many men. And there's, like, a thing in the movie where this man, her dad, the evil scientist dude, he's like, yeah, I forgot the exact line, but it's something along the lines of, I cannot have sex because it'll kill me. I choose to push my sexual thoughts. Main character's name is Bella. I choose to push my sexual thoughts of Bella to the back of my mind. Also, she kind of just feels like my daughter. So those sexual thoughts are just like, and that's strange. Is that not strange? That's the man who created her, and he knows that she's a baby. I want to take a sip of my coffee so bad. I keep reaching over to take a sip, and then I'm like, I'm doing this. I can't. I wanted a sip of my coffee. Okay, we're back. And I was reading reviews of it because I've been thinking about this movie so much, which obviously makes it a good movie. Like, I think that if you're thinking about it a lot, it's a good movie, right? But I was looking at reviews of it the next day, and everybody was like, well, it's so liberating. It's so this, it's so that, it's so this. And there were parts of the movie that did feel liberating, you know, like, the fact that she decided to explore her sexuality, even though everybody else told her not to. I thought it was a very liberating concept. I think having her be a baby while doing that is a little bit disturbing, although, you know, that's a very normal human thing. Like, a lot of babies figure out that type of stuff, so it's whatever. But it's still very disturbing that she was a baby and men were taking advantage of her while she was doing it, you know? I think that it was very liberating that at one point in this movie, she whores herself out. She becomes a prostitute at some point in this movie, and I think that showing some of those scenes were very liberating. Those were some of the sex scenes that I did think were essential to the movie, were the ones that were happening during the prostitution bit. I think that her dumping a man because he didn't like her choices, that I think was a very liberating thing. There were parts of this movie that were like liberating, and there were parts of it that just felt extraordinarily disturbing, which is why I don't know how I feel about it. Like, I really want to like it because everybody likes it, but like, also, I don't like seeing children being taken advantage of. And like, she obviously grows throughout this movie and she becomes an adult woman and she's making her own adult decisions, but the beginning of the movie just was very disturbing to me. But it was a good movie. Like, if you want to see it, I think you should see it. It is really long, and also probably don't take your friend's little sister with you because, again, there are a lot of sex scenes in it. A lot. It's very explicitly shown. You see a lot of titty in this movie. So if that's not something you're interested in, don't watch it. But yeah, it was like it's a very good movie. It's just so, I just go back and forth about it so much because I think of my personal experience really dictates the way that I personally feel about the movie. And I think people who haven't experienced some of the things that I've experienced are going to have an entirely different take, and it's going to feel more liberating to them. I really think that it could be a very good movie. I think that's all I got to say about that one. I think we're moving on to Saltburn, which is crazy. I've not seen Saltburn yet, but I've seen a lot of analysis videos on it, which I will be linking. I will link my analysis videos that I've been watching. I think I'm going to see it once it comes out. I don't know. I do not know. No, I think I'm going to see it. Once it comes out on streaming services that I have, I think I'm going to watch it. But until then, there's an alarm going off. It freaked me out a little bit. I'm just watching these analysis videos. And I don't have any Wi-Fi. Is that going to be a problem? I guess we'll see. These analysis videos are talking about like the craziest bits. Essentially, from my understanding of it so far, it is this nerdy boy named Oliver sees a popular rich man and like falls in love and is obsessed with him. This is also going to have spoilers if you haven't seen it because, you know, Teehee, spoiler time. It's about, yeah, but it's like about this man who's obsessed with another man. That's, I think, the point. And it's gay, but like not really. It's like kind of gay. And it was written and directed by a woman. I think Poor Things was also written and directed by a woman. And I like women. I like it when women make disturbing things, because a lot of existing as a woman is very disturbing. So good for them. Love that. But Saltburn is, yeah, obsessed with a man. He comes home with him over the holiday to his house. And the castle, they live in a castle, and the castle's name is Saltburn. And that's why the movie's called Saltburn. Right? Okay, that's I think what's going on. And so he goes there, he watches the main character, lots of sex in this movie too, watches the dude he's obsessed with have sex with women, has period sex with it's not really period sex, it's more he rubs period blood all over his sister's face and then eats her out. Yeah, and then he drinks, the dude he's obsessed with's bath water after he's masturbated and come into it, and then I heard that he basically rims the, bath drain, which is so embarrassing. Oh my god. And then, like, a bunch of people die, and he's the one who killed them. And it's, like, really disturbing to watch, because it was, like, an obsession turns murder. And I just keep thinking about this, because I think that it's so, honestly, things that have obsession in them are so incredibly disturbing to me, because I get really obsessed with things. And I think seeing parts of myself in these characters who are like murderers is very uncomfortable, because I don't want to be a murderer. I don't want to murder. Who would want to murder? Not me. I don't know, man. But it's incredibly disturbing to see people who are obsessed with things take it to a level that is beyond comprehension for me. And I think that watching these people just be so human, because like there's also drugs, there's also really uncomfortable like fight scenes, there's people being like really gross and bad to each other. Like, watching these people be so human is also really uncomfortable to see, because people, obviously humanity is, we have the worst and the best qualities, you know? And it's uncomfortable when we see those bad qualities. Like, if you're ever fighting with somebody and you're like, this is bad, I hate this. And then they say something that makes you feel bad, and then you're like, wow, this is bad, I hate this again. Like, it's just uncomfortable to be in those situations where you know that you love that person, but they're being bad to you. Like, those situations are just so uncomfortable. And then, the scene where it's his birthday and they're having the birthday party before the dude that he's obsessed with dies, main character. Birthday party, main character, birthday party. When they're singing happy birthday and nobody knows his name, that's so heartbreaking. Like, knowing that he's so obsessed with this lifestyle and so obsessed with these people and none of them know him, that is upsetting. That's upsetting. There's just a lot that's like very deeply disturbing to me about this movie. Honestly, the bathtub thing is kind of gross. He's just kind of drinking dirt, you know, dirt and cum, and that's like uncomfortable to me. One of the analysis videos that I was watching talked about how this director, I forgot her name, I think it's Emerald something. I could be wrong. I don't know. But she made scenes like that, because you don't really see the exactly what's happening. You're gathering, it's you using your everything, like sounds, smells is not applicable to this, but like context clues, that's what the word that I was looking for. You're using context clues to come to a conclusion. You don't explicitly see a lot of it. And she was saying that it's more of a take on the uncomfortability of what you're thinking and your mind going to the worst place. So the bathwater, who knows what happened with the bathwater? Maybe he didn't. I don't know. You see him drink it, so you know that he drinks it. That is shown. But who knows? I saw 555. Yeah. I just want you guys to know that. Yeah, it's like one of those things where, like, it's deeply disturbing to me because it shows, like, parts of me that I don't like. Hee 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 hee. There's also the idea that... Oh, I forgot what I was gonna say, but there was something that I did want to bring up. He, at one point, when the dude that he's obsessed with dies, he fricks the grave. He fricks the grave. And that, I think, is a deeply emotional thing, which is weird because nuh-uh, don't do that maybe. But it's like a very deeply emotional scene to see, and it's very strange to me. Like, I just don't know how to describe it. But very deeply emotional. I feel like that's all I have to say about that. So we're moving on to Attack on Titan, which I have a lot to say about. In particular, I want to talk about Eren and Armin. Entire spoilers for the rest of season 4, for like literally the end if you haven't seen it. I love Attack on Titan. I think that it was beautifully written. I think that it is bad and gross, and I love it. Teehee, teehee. This is the only one that was written and directed by a man, also. I hate, boo. I don't know. But I love the scene. I literally cannot stop thinking about it. My favorite thing in the entire manga and the anime, funnily enough, is the scene where, I already said spoilers, right? Spoilers, again, just in case. Armin, so it's when Eren is about to die. He's about to get his little head cut off by Mikasa. And he is bringing all of his friends to the paths to have, like, a talk and apology with them. It only shows the one with Mikasa and Armin, but Jean says that he had a conversation with him, and I think Connie says that too. Like, I think even Levi is like, ooh, that was weird. I just had a weird little thing with Eren. But particularly the one with Armin and Eren, I think is so beautiful. The anime, I think, honestly, probably did it a little bit better. I don't entirely remember what happened in the manga, but the idea of that is that, like, they're in these safe spaces with Eren. Like, it's Eren reminding them of, like, the good times, essentially, in my opinion. I don't know if that's actually what it is. So it starts off with them when, before Eren's little wall got destroyed and his mummy died, and they're looking at the book of the outside world, and they're talking about, like, whatever, they actually did it, and, like, all of that. They're moving on to when they're in the Survey Corps together, I think. No, it was when they were drinking outside in that area that I don't know where it is or what it's called, but like when they were drinking and they were looking up at the stars, transfers over there, they're talking still. That's one, both of those not my favorite part. And then I actually do really like the first little bit where they're kids. I love, first of all, I love Volka Armin. He is my favorite. I love him. But I really get emotional about the scenes when they're children again, because like the discrepancy, not really, the difference between them when they're children and them when they're adults is just so mind-boggling. And like seeing them back before they started doing atrocious things and started getting really hurt, and seeing like the passion for, in Aaron's case, I was not an Aaron fan until like literally very recently, but seeing Aaron being very passionate, Armin being extraordinarily loyal, Mikasa also being extraordinarily loyal and big and tough and strong even though she was a baby. Good for her, by the way. I wish that was me. I wish I was big and tough and strong even when I was a baby. Seeing the disparity between the two, I really like. But my favoriteest part of this entire thing, back on track, don't you worry about me, is the part where they're at the ocean looking out, just because the ocean scene is such a pivotal point where they're like, over there, those are the enemy, we will be free, and like all of that. And also just the fact that they actually see the ocean, that was their main goal. That was their main goal. You could have just stopped there. Complete story. They made it to the ocean. Seeing them have a conversation at that spot is such like a pivotal, like it's such an important moment to me, not only because of what they say, because I do actually remember what they say for this one, but just because of the spot. And I get very emotional about this scene. I think it's really funny, first of all, that they start this off with Armin being like, Mikasa's gonna fall in love with somebody else, and then Aaron just starts like sobbing and being like, no, I want her to love me, I want her to be hung up on me for 10 years. I think that that's really silly. And then Armin going, wow, you're pathetic. It like hitting him, that's so silly. I love that. I think that that just shows that Armin loves Mikasa too, and they're all besties, and I love that. Which I will get to later. I have another thing about that. I have a couple more things about that actually. And then Aaron explaining that this is the only way that he could like protect all of them, which, by the way, that's the moment that I liked Aaron. I don't think that the rumbling was the right thing to do. I think that it is very noble and selfless for him to do something so atrocious because he knows that it will protect the people that he loves. I like that bit. But don't also murder 80% of the population, probably. Don't do that. I wish that there was another way, probably. I'm sure that, and he said that he went through all the timelines. Did he go through all the timelines? Did he go through all the timelines? What if he only killed 20%? Even that would be, I think even that would be too bad. But yeah, when they're going through that whole scene, and he's like, this was like the only way that I could protect you guys. And like, that's really like my ultimate goal at this point, is to protect you guys. And then him being like, I'm going to hell for this, and I've made that choice. And then Armin being like, we're going to hell for this. That, I think, shows Armin's character so well, and I think that it's such a sweet moment between the two of them, where Armin is taking responsibility for Aaron's actions to make Aaron feel better. And obviously it works because I have a little hug after, and I think it's really cute and really sweet. It's just one of my favorite moments, just because I think that there is so much, even though there's so much destruction, and they're sitting literally in an ocean full of blood and hair and like teeth, and like they're still having a very thoughtful, genuine communication between the two of them. I think that that is so very nice, even though it's a disturbing, disturbing show. And I have more things to say about that. Specifically, that I don't appreciate. I personally like to think that Mikasa and Armin love each other as much as, maybe not like from on Mikasa's side. They love each other, like Armin's love for Mikasa is the same as his love for Armin. Eren is what I meant to say. And I'd like to think that Mikasa's love for Armin matches that energy, but I think that it doesn't, and that makes me sad because I want them to be besties, because literally they went like 4 years without seeing Eren. I don't know, when did he run away? I don't even remember. I don't remember how long it was. He was 19 when he killed everybody, so he was like 15 when most of the show happened. So yeah, like 4 years. Besties during that time. What are we doing? I had to crack my hip, sorry. In Mikasa's perfect world scene, it's just her and Eren explains that that was a choice that they made, knowing that it killed all of their friends, including Armin. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, guys, for real? For real? Are we actually gonna do that like that? I just can't wrap my mind around the fact that Mikasa, I mean, obviously she literally in cold blood killed a bunch of her like classmates. She like didn't even give a fuck. But I think that her love for Eren being so intense that she'd kill her best friend, or the closest thing to a best friend that she's had the entire series, that just makes me really sad. I'm like, ooh. And I also get really emotional about the fact that Armin and Zeke, when they were empaths, have that conversation, and Armin's like, I felt in that moment like I was born to run up that hill with Mikasa and Eren. That makes me want to cry and die, because that's such a beautiful way to put life in general. That's such a beautiful way to explain why life is valuable and meaningful, is those little moments. I don't know. I think that show, I could probably talk about that Attack on Titan for literally hours, but I'm gonna cut myself off because that was all I've been thinking about recently, are those couple of scenes, because they make me so sad but so happy. Like, I feel a lot of emotions. Attack on Titan is one of the only shows that I've felt like that range of emotion over, which is weird because I think I just got really attached to it really fast. I don't know what's up. I have a little Survey Corp blanket somewhere to show that I'm a true fan. Yeah, this video is getting extraordinarily long, so I'm gonna cut myself off here. That's the media that I've been obsessed with recently. Tell me about the media you've been obsessed with recently. Let's hear it. I want to hear why, too. Let's have a little conversation. Let's get it going. I don't know. I think I'm just too tired to do this. I only had one sip of coffee this whole 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Okay. I will see you later. Hopefully. Maybe. If not, bye. Have a nice rest of your life.